She had never heard of this before and thought it was a strange request, but he was the doctor, so he knew better. She had no choice but to sit in the waiting room, but she wanted to know what was going on behind closed doors. Jennifer Harris hadn't had it easy. She'd gone through a bad divorce, leading her to move to California, but the move was a lot harder than she thought it would be. However, her daughter was suffering much more than she was, but she was strong for being only 5 years old. People felt bad when they heard the word leukemia. It was a terrible disease, and only people who had been through it could understand why she needed to get Angela out of the hospital. Jennifer got a job offer at the hospital she was working at that she knew she had to take. If she did, she would be able to pay for health insurance for her daughter, so they wouldn't go bankrupt from medical bills. As a bonus, the new hospital had a great reputation, but she still felt nervous when she went for her first appointment with the doctor. She felt much better when the handsome oncologist walked in and smiled at her. But at the end of the appointment, he asked her to leave. She had never had that happen before. What was going on? Why did he want her to leave? She didn't want to leave her daughter alone, but she knew he was right, so she left. Her girl was always tired and worn out, but when she left the doctor's office, she seemed different. She was smiling, but her face looked strange, as if she had been hooked up to a power source. Her mother wanted to know what had happened in the office, but the doctor just told her that her daughter was strong and that there was nothing to worry about. However, her mother's intuition would scream at her to get to the hospital right away. She had a simple plan. When they walked into the room, she hid a camera that would record everything. When she finally found out what was going on, she would be shocked. Angela stayed behind for a few minutes with the doctor. He smiled at her, walked across the room, and then started dancing right in front of her eyes. Jennifer couldn't believe what she had seen. Jennifer tried to move like the doctor. She flicked her hands like he did and slid her feet back and forth like he did, a perfect moonwalk. The smile on her daughter's face made Jennifer want to cry. A nurse walked up to her and gave her a pat on the shoulder. Jennifer wanted nothing more than for her daughter to be happy and healthy. She did everything she could to cheer her up, but she was just as tired as Angela. The nurse smiled as she watched the video. "Oh, I love that one," she said, pointing to when he did an impressive spin. It turns out that the doctor had a secret weapon. He knew from experience that parents couldn't always be happy and bubbly all the time. He knew that appointments were hard, so he would always walk out a little early. At the end of each visit, he and the patient would have a laugh together. When he walked into the waiting room, Jennifer burst into tears. From the outside, he might not look like much, but what he did meant everything. It was no secret that a positive attitude, including laughter, was important to healing. Jennifer felt grateful when she saw a small smile on Angela's face. She thanked him over and over, but he surprised her again with what he did. "Don't worry, Mom." He said it with such humility that they talked for a while about how he felt about getting better and fighting cancer. All the while, Angela slowly tried to dance like she did that day. She seemed to be full of life like never before, and there was no doubt they could win this battle.